lovely people! Welcome to the channel! I'm the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon. This is Blue Dragon Art, and this is my Christmas special, which has become an annual event for me personally. I do celebrate Christmas, and every year I like to participate in various Secret Santa gift givings for independent artists, and I also like to create art sometimes for like friends and family members. I think that it's much nicer to do something personalized for them, which I actually did print off from RedBubble, a fan art piece which I showed in Wednesday's video, which is of Sailor Moon. I actually digitally colored that for a friend of mine and then just uploaded it to RedBubble, printed it off, kept it private so that, you know, I don't get like sued or anything for fan art. But anyway, so I make this my annual thing that I like to give gifts because I feel like it's very unique. And it's a skill that I possess that not everybody that I know necessarily has, but they tend to like ask for things or want things, and I figure this is a way for me to give them a free gift. I do have new RedBubble items down in the description. There's a link for it. This is past Christmas. By the time this posts, nobody's going to be buying Christmas presents, so I'm not just shilling myself for a holiday that I think has become way too corporate and has taken the meaning away from what it is supposed to be, but that's just my commentary. I don't know. I don't judge other people. It's not my place. So, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's talk about some fan art for Chimerical Dreams, which is a sci-fi indie webcomic. And it's by, the artist goes by Chimerical Dreams also, so I'm just going to say it's by Chimerical Dreams. And it does have some erotica in it, but it is a very story-driven, not safe for work comic. It's set in space, and what I've read of it so far has actually been interesting because they've got like a lot of characterization, which quite often when you're looking at like dirty comics, they often don't have much of a story at all, and those kind of comics aren't really, I have nothing against them. I don't tend to like, you know, read them myself, but this one at least seems to have like a story going on in it. I've been enjoying it, and this piece of fan art that I'm working on in the background, this is the prize for second place runner-up for the Comic Fury Zine cover art contest, which we held earlier this year. It's for the Travels in Space zine. If you want to watch that video, you know, see what, you know, a taste of what that looks like, I've got an iCard or I've got it linked down in the description. But this artist submitted a fantastic cover and was runner-up, and so of course we had fan art for the first place winner, which was Angry Rob. That was actually created by the artist 3 over on Comic Fury, and then I was doing this piece for Chimerical Dreams, and it was kind of fun because I don't always do profiles, but I did actually try to tie in, I don't know if anybody's going to notice it or not, you'd probably have to read the comic, but like the background looks kind of weird and red and thready whenever I get done with it, and that's kind of like symbolic of what is going on in the comic, which is erotic. I will just say that real quick. So if you're sensitive to that type of comic, maybe sit this one out, but if it's something that you're interested in, the link for it is down in the description. And now I'm going to move along and talk a little bit about the Secret Santa assignments that I received this year. I actually signed up for 2 Secret Santas, one with my collective. It's not mine, it's the collective that I am a part of, and therefore it belongs to all of us. But Aradia Magical Girl Collective, I was assigned Star Spirit, which is a really cute comic. I am really enjoying it so far. And by cute, it is heavy also because the theme is kind of, it's Magical Girl, obviously, since the Aradia Collective is a Magical Girl collective. But the main character, Kyla's her name, and she seems to be very caring, very sensitive. She is a spirit, and within this world there are spirits that can be corrupted and therefore have to be fought to prevent them from corrupting other people and spirits. I'm not very far into the story yet, but it's been very interesting so far. I've read the 15 chapters that are up, or I should say the 15 pages, episodes that are up right now, and I've been really enjoying it, so highly recommended. This one, as far as I can tell, is safe for work. I am going to assume that it will remain safe for work. However, I will say, while this person is active in the collective, it's been a while since they've uploaded a new episode. Could be that they're working on more, could be that they're doing something else. I'm not entirely certain, but what's there is cute so far. And since there's only 15 episodes, really not a lot of time investment, so you could check it out and see if it's an artist that you want to keep an eye on. The next assignment that I received was Dragon Sparking, which is a really fun comic. This was not for a collective, this is for a Discord channel of independent artists over on Tapas that I'm a part of. This comic is really cool. It starts out as a pixel art comic. Dragon Sparking, as I mentioned, is the name of it, and it is an action, a fighting action, I would call it shonen, which same thing, action, shonen type comic. Starts out as a sprite art, I think, is what it's, well, no, it's not sprite art, it's definitely pixelated art. I don't think they look like sprites. But that's kind of how the comic starts, and then the artist moves to a more traditional black and white manga style. This first part of the story is actually complete. There are 75 episodes in this, so you could actually read it, and the first part of the story is complete. It's very interesting if you like fighting comics that have kind of like, I want to say maybe a little bit of influence from Dragon Ball Z, but also definitely its own thing. This is a completed independent comic by Nathan Williams, and it's very, I like it so far. I've been really enjoying it. The main character that I draw in this is Rip, I'm going to say this wrong, his name is Rip Vikierson, I think is how that's pronounced. Van Wyck? Maybe it's Wyck. It's a V. I don't know how they pronounce. I don't know what kind of last name this guy has given the character. I feel like it's very heavily influenced by like Nordic names, just due to where the name of the city that the comic starts in. But I think this is an interesting comic. There's cartoon violence and stuff that goes on in this. But other than that, what I've read so far doesn't seem like anything too terribly inappropriate. I don't even see any mature rating marks on any of the episodes, so this is something that could be enjoyed by probably a lot of different age groups. It's definitely something that I as an adult enjoy. Okay, so Secret Santas aside, next up I have Minimal fan art. Minimal is the name of the comic. I've talked about this comic. I feel like I've talked about this comic before. I think I had it on one of my top indie webcomic lists, but I love the shit out of Minimal. It is a space adventure. I do believe that it's got violence, nudity, sex, language tags on it. But it is a very fun adventure, but it also, like, it starts relatively lighthearted, but it gets pretty heavy pretty quickly on as you get into the story. I mean, you kind of have that idea because Taylor, who is the main character, is very clearly, like, economically depressed. This person does not have a lot of money and really doesn't have a lot to lose, and that's kind of why she starts on this adventure. So, I mean, it's an interesting story. She starts off with just herself and this android Beatrice, but they're like the main characters at the start of the comic, and then they start slowly collecting other characters on the ship along the way. Very good story, very story driven, and even the art, I mean, it's got like stick figure art, but to be honest, a lot of like the panel setups and like a lot of the things that the artist tackles, I feel they do it better than I do. So I highly recommend Minimal if that's your kind of thing. Space adventure, I'm all for it. Very enjoyable comic. Highly recommended. Next up, I have a piece for the webcomic Terra Prima. And again, all of these links are down in the description for anyone who wants to check these out. I've been reading Terra Prima for years. I know I've talked about this comic before on the channel, but I've never really done any fan art for the artist Azifree. Oh, by the way, I should be polite and mention that Minimal, the person who created Minimal, their avatar is JM Loves Bob. this Terra Prima comic, it's for an adult audience, but it's not like got a lot of gratuitous nudity or sex or anything in it, but there is some violence. Definitely some violence and adult themes, adult topics. It's a very interesting comic. It's got a lot of science and biology in it because the creator, Azifree, actually that is her field of work. So some of it she knows what she's talking about, or I would imagine it's combined just general knowledge that she has with like fantasy sci-fi setting. But Terra Prima, there's a lot of different multiple universes, and there's basically two opposing factions. Each universe has echoes of the same person, but while of course they have similar personalities, there are some cases where those echoes are differing in opinion and moral judgments because people have different upbringings and things that affect them in their life. Kind of interesting. This doesn't remind me of the story, but if anyone knows the film Boys from Brazil, where they were trying to repeat the exact same circumstances of a certain infamous piece of garbage that caused a lot of strife and turmoil in our world's history. I'm not even going to name him, but I'm just saying it's kind of like an interesting similar premise there, in that just drawing a parallel between how different circumstances, regardless of your DNA, can have an effect on your personality. So I find that aspect of this comic to be very interesting. And basically the opposing factions, getting back to what I was saying, one group wants to essentially take away freedom of thought and assimilate everyone in using nanotechnology so that there's no more fighting and strife amongst humanity. Whereas the other group doesn't believe that people should be assimilated against their will, because quite often these people on the other side are just doing it without permission. And it's kind of like a fight between these two moral judgments. So it's a very fascinating comic, and there's a lot of characterization in it. And since I've been reading this for a year and I absolutely love the comic, it's very, in my opinion, unique and well done. I highly recommend Terra Prima, and I am drawing the character Oracle. And then finally, the last thing that I'm just going to throw the image up. I did some Sailor Moon fan art. I mentioned this last video, which was an awful video. I'm not even going to lie, but thank you to those of you who watched it. I appreciate it. But this piece of art I did for, I had originally done it for the art market that I had back in August. A friend of mine, I showed it off to her, just kind of scanned it in and showed her what it looked like, and she said she really liked it and would like a digital version of it, and I kind of left it at that, didn't say anything. I was like, oh, well, you know, maybe I'll color it or something like that. But I decided to surprise her for Christmas. I decided to color that digitally, kind of add some background, and basically redo an old version of this image that I'd done back in 2019 for Con Alt Delete. And I really like how it turned out. I also printed this off at RedBubble. I think I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, unless this is a new recording and I forgot to record that again. I might just not be making any sense at this point. But I did actually upload it onto RedBubble and print it off. Or I ordered like a print and a sticker. I've kept it private though. You can't buy it. Yeah, I don't want to like mess with fan art and like get in trouble and get kicked off of RedBubble or anything like that. I don't think you can get kicked off, but I just don't want to try it. You know, I don't want to chance it. And that's all I've got for this year. I would have liked to have done more. I feel like I did more than last year, to be honest. But at the same time, I really like giving away gift art. I don't really do it during most of the year because I just get caught up in my own projects. But I kind of like to save it towards the end of the year as like a little surprise for people. And if you do that also, please, I'd like to hear about it. Let me know some of the people that you've created fan art for, some of your favorite indie comics. Share it around, spread the love, support your favorite artists. And I'll be back again with another fan art video next year. I may do more during the year, but I'm gonna be realistic with y'all. Probably not. It's not that I don't like doing fan art, I just am usually too caught up in like things going on in my own life to take time away to do that, and I really should do more of it. But it is kind of like a traditional thing for me though, because as I was mentioning, I feel like Christmas is more special when people give you something that they put some of themselves into. I really just feel like it has more meaning if it's something that I make or something that somebody that I know makes. I have friends, they don't draw, but they made me a wallet once, which I still use. I've been gifted homemade aprons. I've been gifted things that I actually use in my day-to-day life, and when I look at it, I'm reminded of them and like the work and the love that they put into those things. I have an amigurumi that a friend of mine gave me just for the hell of it. So I mean, that kind of stuff to me means a lot more than just going to the store and buying something. Unless it's like a book. Okay, a book. I think a book is a good gift, to be honest. But again, that's my opinion. Or like a game or something that people can interact with and get more than like a single use out of, or is something that they're just gonna take back to the store, you know? That's my take on the holidays. I mean, you're welcome to put your opinion and tell me what you think down in the comments section. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Whatever you're doing this year, regardless of whether you celebrate, I hope that you're keeping warm and safe and are able to spend time with, you know, either family or found family, people that you love and, you know, have a lot of good times with. I hope you're doing something to just keep warm and safe and have some cheer kind of towards the end of the year as things start winding down and we gear up for 2023. Anyway, peace and love. Seriously, I mean that. Peace and love. Fare you well. And keep on trucking.